We're coming to the end of the conference, obviously. I'm pleased to introduce our final speaker, Will Evans, the CEO of the NTCA. He's been a driving force behind the organisation's success in recent years, and his leadership has certainly been instrumental in shaping the direction of the industry in this neck of the woods. The past year has not been without its challenges, with biosecurity threats on our doorstep, but there has been little time to rest on laurels or time to reflect or relax. Please welcome your CEO, Will Evans.
Thanks, mate. Good afternoon, everybody. I was just outside and someone mentioned to me that I've got the graveyard shift again this year. It's a great privilege to do so, and thank you all for making it to the last session of today. I promise not to be too long. I know everybody's pretty keen to get ready and head to the dinner, which we're very excited about. It's become a bit of a tradition with this speech that every year I start with a series of thank yous, and the conference really is something, I say it every year, it just continues to go from strength to strength. It's not easy to do. Alice Springs presents unique challenges like unpredictable weather events, but we're very grateful to be here. And I would like to start by saying, again, this is something that we start planning in August. The girls do a miraculous job, and obviously our event staff at AAP, a terrific partnership between us and them. I would like to ask, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please put your hands together for the staff and the event people who've made this possible. Of course, it's always important to thank your sponsors. Again, these sorts of events cannot happen without these amazing companies that we have that partner with us every year. And I'd like to make a special mention of the Northern Territory Government this year, who were very supportive of us bringing the event to Alice Springs. And I would like to ask for a round of applause, please. Most importantly, absolutely most importantly, I need to thank the membership, your continuing support for what we do at the NTCA, and for events like this really just speaks to the strength of the organisation and the way in which we're able to represent industry. It is a great privilege to work for you all, and it's a great privilege to be able to put on events like this so that you can come together and enjoy each other's company. So I would like to ask, lastly, for a round of applause for the members, please. Obviously, got to thank Pete. Pete, it's your third year. Thank you very much, mate. You're doing a terrific job. The quality of today's speakers, I think, is as high as I've ever seen. I don't think I'd have anybody disagree with me on that. I thought there was some very, very good speakers last year, and I thought at a really important time we had the right people there. But today I was blown away, if I'm honest, by the quality of the speakers. David Williams was a surprise. A very good surprise. I'm very happy with his speech, but yeah, that was one of the more entertaining sessions I've seen for a long time. Today marks my third year on the dot working for the association. I started here 3 years ago in Alice Springs. I started on the day of the conference, and for the longest time, for the last couple of years, it's really looked like we weren't going to be able to come back to Alice. It is a difficult place to hold events like this, and you do worry about, with the conditions in town, what that effect will have on sponsorship and people attending it. And I was speaking to someone in government recently. I was an advisor for a minister, and they said it's ironic that Alice Springs is struggling, and we're finding it really hard to find staff and people to be able to run basic government functions. And in the middle of a crime wave and a crisis, the cattlemen's are having a conference in the middle of town and bringing 500 people to it. So I think it speaks to the resilience of the industry and the people in the industry that we're here. And I'd like to say, I am going to ask for one more round of applause for all of you. Thank you so much for coming. It's critically important that we continue to support the regions in the Northern Territory, but I think we'll be doing lots of supporting of the regions later on this evening, so I won't dwell too much on that. Last year, I undertook something rather ambitious for me. For those who weren't there, I quoted a German philosopher in Latin. Look, not one of my strengths, if I'm honest, and I'm not going to endeavour to do so again, but I thought I would continue with that tradition. I have a quote that I think about quite a lot in a policy context at work, and I won't go into who said it. It's a quote from a long time ago, and it's, "They with lying lips take upon them the name of God to save themselves from the prescience of their present destruction." And it's a quote from a philosopher during the Roman era. He talks about the sacking of Rome, and that many people fled to temples and to churches to hide, and they pretended to be of that faith to save themselves from the destruction of the people coming through the gates. Pretty ambitious, right? I've got a point. I swear I am going somewhere with this. I think about that in the context of work because I often wonder about what lies we're willing to accept and what words we're willing to say and not say to avoid destruction or condemnation or judgment from others. And one of the things that I was most proud of this morning with David's speech was the truthfulness of it and the honesty of it. And I can say that truthfulness is the act of a friend. Honesty is the act of a friend. And for anyone who at any point in time felt uncomfortable during David's presentation, good. That's exactly what truth is. Truth is often the most difficult thing to say. It can be incredibly hard to do. It can be very difficult to present it in front of a room full of people, not sure what their reaction is going to be, not sure how they're going to respond. And I can say that David's truthfulness is the act of a friend. And I have greatly admired his ability to stand before you all for the last 3 years. It's been a privilege to work for him, and it's certainly been a privilege to participate in events like this, to hear him speak the words he'd say. So I would like to ask for a round of applause for David Connolly, please. Obviously, we're very excited to have a new president, and we've got some new members of the executive as well. I've known Henry since before I was at the NTCO when I was working for the exporters. I can say that knowing Henry working for the producers is far better than knowing Henry than when we were working for the exporters. But I can honestly say that the staff and myself are very excited to have our new executive team and our new president, and I know Henry will continue in the traditions that David has created. So I would like to ask for a round of applause for Henry, please. Now I'm just desperately looking around for my clicker. Pete, is that a slide clicker?
Is there a clicker?
Is that a clicker?
It is a clicker.
That is a clicker. Now, the reason, and I promise this is my last joke, well, my only joke. David did something this morning that probably the only thing that I had an issue with was the view from my office. I would like to clarify that is not the view from my office. The view from my office is normally covered in government papers about this high. There is a nice view, but it's certainly not that bad. And I think Romy's view is terrific. And I think she should be very happy to have a sea view. But for those of you wondering how I managed to secure myself a view of that kind, the secret comes down to you really just need to have a very good. Oh, how do I do this? Put it down.
Just point it down.
You have to have a very good relationship with Santa, as it turns out. So this is I won't reveal who this is. I think you all may be able to guess, but that is the secret of securing a new office. It's the secret of securing a view like that. You just have to make sure you've got a very close relationship with those who provide those things to you. It has been a pleasure to have you all here. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for continuing to support the association. And I look forward to having a drink with you all tonight. Thank you.